Ty Kozik, who's our team lead on our operations team. And he leads the consultants you'll be speaking to and working with to book your travel. And finally, Monica Hall, our technical implementation manager. And in just a few minutes, she's going to walk you through how to book travel online. But very quickly, just to give you an overview of today's agenda, we will conclude our introductions here in just a few moments. But first, I'll share with you contact information and how to reach the team. And then for the kind of the concur familiarization portion of today's meeting, Monica will walk you through how to build your profile so that when you are ready to book your first trip, you'll have all the information that you need to travel will be in your travel profile in Concur. And then she'll also walk you through the booking process for air, hotel, other travel services, including changing or canceling your trip. She'll also, as part of that discussion, discuss travel policy, the company travel policy. And then she'll conclude that portion of the presentation by talking about travel apps and travel tools you can use in the Concur environment. And then we'll conclude the presentation with a Q&A. That said, I'll just share my screen quickly. I thought I had the PowerPoint in the right place. Apologies. As I said, my name is Ford Butler. I'm your client success manager or account manager. I'm based in the Nashville area. Prior to joining Reedy Mackay 2.5 years ago, I spent about 13 years in the airline industry with a couple of major airlines, Lufthansa and United, and mostly in sales and operations roles. And but I've been with Reedy Mackay since about August of 22. Just real quick, when it comes to contacting the team, if you have a multi-segment booking or an international booking, anything that might be a little more complex than just a simple round trip or a simple one-way trip, you can reach the team from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Outside of those hours, please be assured we are here. There is someone here for Reedy Mackay 24/7 to assist you, including weekends, nights, holidays. So if you need to reach us outside those hours, we do recommend you just call the number, and it will transfer automatically to our 24-hour team. And we have consultants in different countries, including the U.S., ready to assist you after hours if you need that assistance. But the email address is not monitored on nights, weekends, or holidays. That is managed exclusively by our team, by Ty and his team. But we have shared this, so and you probably have already seen this information in communications from the company. But that's what we recommend in terms of best practices to reach us. But or if you have an urgent case, just give us a call. Anything within 24 to 48 hours, definitely give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you. That said, I'll stop sharing my screen. I'll just turn it over to Ty and Courtney real quick so they can introduce themselves. Ty.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reedy Mackay. I've been with Reedy Mackay about 3 years now, but I've been in the travel industry for about 20. I've worked for airlines and on the corporate travel side, so I have pretty good knowledge about what's going on. I've also been to 76 countries so far, and so I know a lot about visas and approvals, stuff like that, if anybody has any questions. You have a really great team. Courtney will be your lead agent, and she'll be dedicated to you guys. She's amazing, has a wealth of knowledge as well, and we're really excited to have you guys. Courtney? You're on mute, Court.
Hi. Sorry. I started working at Reedy Mackay in 2018 and took a brief hiatus during COVID, but I'm back. I've also been in the travel industry since I was a wee baby, probably like 21 years old. So I've done this for a while too. It's just kind of my passion. I love to travel. I have not been to near as many countries as Ty, but they're all on my list. So I've been to Iceland, Germany, Costa Rica, to name a few. Yeah, I'm excited to be here and excited that I was chosen to head up this account.
Thank you, Courtney and Ty. And with that said, are there any questions so far before we move on? Okay, if there are no questions, I'll turn it over to my colleague Monica Hall for a demonstration of Concur Travel. Monica.
Thank you, Ford. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I'm just going to go off camera. I'm still here. So I'm going to show you the Concur site. And if you have any questions, it looks like a pretty large group here. Can you put your questions in the chat, and then I will pause after certain sections and see if there's any questions. And Ford, if you can just ask me the questions that aren't answered in there. So I'm on the Concur homepage. My page may look different than yours because you will have expense as well. I do not have permission for expenses for your system. So the first thing you want to do when you get into Concur is go into your travel profile. At the very top, if you click on the little marker here, which is your initials, and click on profile settings, this will take you to your profile options. Click on personal information and it will open your profile page. One thing that is required is your name. If you do travel with a middle name, put that in there. If you do not have a middle name, check the box, no middle name. And you want to make sure your name matches your passport, any airline programs that you have. If you have a TSA or a global entry number, the name has to match 100%. If I scroll down, you can add in your work addresses. We do have your work addresses loaded in here. If you select one and check this box off, it will automatically populate. Home address is not required, but there are messaging. Do not put any hashtags or any special symbols. Our system does not take it. If you do add it in there, you may have an issue while you're doing a booking in the system. Under contact information, you do need to add a work or a home number. They both say required, but there is a note that says either a home or a work number. If you are a traveler, you do want to make sure you have a mobile number in there. You would just select country code and then put your mobile number in there. You do see all these blue save buttons. You can complete your whole profile and then click on the save button to save it once. If you are missing any of the required information, it will give you a message of what you're missing. And the red required box that you see here will not go away. As you can see, I have a work number and it still says required. It's just hard coded in there. Your email address will be in there. You can go ahead and verify it. It will just hook up the email to your Concur profile. You can add in additional emails by adding an email address. You can add in a contact, emergency contact person in here as well. If you're eligible for AAA rates for hotels, you can select that box. Military, senior, AARP. You can add in your ID, any air preferences, where would you like to sit. You can put your departure airport. That will pre-populate on the main search page. Rail information, hotel information. You can put your room type that you prefer. Also, smoking, non-smoking. I don't think they have smoking rooms, but you never know. And then a message to the hotel vendor. So if you'd like to have a high floor away from the elevator or ice machine, you can put a note in here. It is not guaranteed. It will just put the note in your reservation and that message will be sent to the hotel. Car rentals, you will not be able to book any cars on Concur. Your company says that you use Uber, so you won't see the option to book any cars. If you do happen to need a car, you would have to call into the consultants. Any frequent flyer programs, you do want to click on add a program. And whatever option you're putting in, if you need to add a hotel in there, you just check the little bed and then you have all your hotel options here. Other ones in pink are the brand hotels. So if you have a Hilton number and you choose this one, it says Hilton chain, EH, that means every Hilton. So if you're booking a Homewood Suites, I think that's Marriott. All of a sudden I went blank. Any brand hotels that Hilton is under, you just put your number in and it will automatically go into that reservation. And then with air, you can go ahead and select the airline, and the ones in the yellow are all the like group hotels. So if I have an American number, I would put my number in, and if I want to have that number go in for any of the American partners or alliance, I can check that box off, make a default for all One World bookings. If you want to know what airlines they are affiliated with, you click on that question mark and it will load all the airlines and show you all their affiliates. So if you are booking British Airways, you have an American number, that box checked off, you don't have to do anything extra. It will automatically move in. And then you can add in 5, click on save, and then go back in and add the rest of them. And then they would all be listed here. And then any unused tickets, once you start booking with Rita Mackay Travel and say you book an airline ticket and you cancel it, we look at that reservation to see if we can void it, if it's within the time frame. If it's refundable, we'll refund it. If we can reuse it, we'll add it to your ticket bank. Once it's in your ticket bank, you'll be able to see that unused ticket on your profile and also on the home page in Concur. But to use that ticket, you will have to call into the consultants to use that. You cannot do that because it has to be manually processed. Under the TSA secured flight, you do need to put a gender and your date of birth. Once you add your date of birth and save your profile, it will be masked out. And also, if you have a known traveler number or a pre-check number, you can go ahead and add that in. If you're interested about knowing more information, again, the question marks, if you click on them, it will open the little box, and there is a link to take you to the website. If you have a passport, go ahead and click on Add a Passport. If you do not have a passport, you can check off I do not have a passport. If there's any travel arrangers or assistants that will book on your behalf, you can go ahead and click on Add an Assistant and search for their name. And once you see the name listed, you can go ahead and select it and then mark it as can book travel for me. And then they would be listed here. And then credit cards, you do need to add a credit card in by clicking on Add a Credit Card. You can put the name of the card, like corporate card, personal card, whatever you want to name it, the card type, the credit card number, expiration date, and what to use that card for. So you do need to select plane, rail, and hotel reservations, add in the address, and then go ahead and save it. Once it is saved, it is encrypted. So if you do put your number in there wrong, you do need to go ahead and add that back in. Actually, you need to delete it and add in a new a new credit card. It is encrypted, so your number will never be shown in here. And then once you're done, you click on save. Again, if there's anything missing, it will give you a box saying that something is required that is missing. So all the required in red will always stay in there. Are there any questions?
There's nothing in the chat yet, Monica.
Okay. All right, so once you complete your profile, you're all set in here. So my system, again, looks a little different than yours. I'm going to go back to the main page. So I click on Concur. This is a one look that you can see here. And if you go to Home and click on Travel, it's a different look as well. I prefer this look here. It shows your little tabs. So under company notes, we do have the phone number and email address of the travel team. If you want to email them, you can just click on this link and it will start an email. Any changes to reservations, any complex international travel, and to apply an unused tickets, you do have to contact the travel team. The hours are listed as well. And then outside of those hours, it will just roll over to the emergency team only if you call in. They're not going to monitor the email. So if you do have an emergency, you do want to call in. And then any questions for expense, there is an email address here as well. And then we added on some links here. If you want some more information when you're traveling internationally, you can go ahead and click those links there. Under the upcoming trips tabs, if I had any trips listed, you will be able to see them. So once we do a booking, I will show you that. And trips awaiting approval, you can just ignore. There's nothing in there. And at the very top of the page under alerts, Concur offers a subscription to TripIt Pro. I did do a little screenshot if it's still here. So TripIt Pro, once you sign up, your trips will automatically be imported into TripIt Pro, and they will send you alerts if your flight is delayed or canceled, or if there's any issues. And you can also use it as like a calendar. You can add in information as well.
Monica,
Yes.
there two questions. First is there a way to specify refundable versus non-refundable fares when booking flights?
Yes, I can show you that once we get in there.
Okay, that's okay. And just to confirm, changes and cancellations, if someone needs to change or cancel their flight, they should contact the team directly, correct?
Any changes to reservation, yes, you do have to contact the travel team. Any cancellations, you should be able to do them in Concur. There will be a link in there that says cancel, and then you would be able to cancel, say, just a hotel, or you can cancel your whole trip. So I will show you that after we're done doing a booking.
Thank you. And then finally, the last part of the question was just about specifying economy versus business, but that's built in already as part of the travel policy, and those prompts would show accordingly, right?
Yes. So once I
Okay.
do a search, I will show you. We do have a different policy for executives. So I'm just on the general policy. So we're just going to show you what the majority of people will be traveling under.
Thank you.
Also under the alerts, you do want to sign up for e-receipts. So you click on sign up here. A travel arranger cannot sign up a traveler. A traveler would have to do this themselves. So this means that, say, you're booking a hotel, and once you check out, if they're a participating vendor, a receipt will be attached in your trip library after your trip. So here's your trip library. It stores all your reservations. Whether you cancel them or you travel on them, you would be able to go in there and see all your reservations. And then the receipts would be attached at the bottom. Also, if you have any unused tickets, there would be a link here. You have unused tickets. If you click on it, you will see the airline ticket number, dollar amount, and the expiration date. Okay, so we have air, hotel, and rail. So I'm going to book air. You can do round trip, one way, or multi-segment. And then it says enter airport, city, or location. So if you click in that box and just say you start typing in Miami, you have to select from the list. So it tells you there's Miami, there's also Fort Lauderdale. So you click on Miami, it will automatically populate. And then I'm going to go to, say, New York City. So you have an option of JFK, Newark, or LaGuardia. I'm just going to click New York. And then if you click on the calendar will open up, and then you just scroll over to the dates that you want to travel. It will populate. You can also put time preferences in there as well. So if there's a certain time, you can go ahead and put that in there. And then cabin classes, we keep it to any cabin. If you do want to try to search for first class or business or premium, it might not show if it's not within policy. I'm going to keep it to any. And then if you want a hotel, you can go ahead and say include accommodations. But if you forget to check that off, you do have an option to add that in after you book your air. So I'm just going to put New York. And then the list is showing below. New York City is your office address. So you can also search by your office. And then the distance is set to 5, but you can open it up to 50 miles and then do a search. So the results do come back. There is a matrix. If you click on the matrix, you can go ahead and see like all nonstops, all the connecting along with the pricing, the airlines above. So if I click on nonstops, it's just going to update and give me all the nonstop options here. There's also filters at the top across the board. So I can also click on nonstops here. If there's a certain carrier you're looking at, I can click on that and it will update. And I'm just going to click all of them again. Also, you can change your time parameters and you can do least logical cost fares, which are the ones with the stars. And then again, you can see the different cabins. Here's main cabin flexible. So if you see flexible or refundable, that's a full fare refundable ticket. Anything else would be a non-refundable, like main cabin. If I click on this, it will say it's non-refundable. The flexible will say fully refundable. It gives you the breakdown of the baggage, the CO2 emissions, again, if it's the lowest fare. And then if you scroll across here, this is first class, but it says economy. I don't know why Concur's labeling first flexible when it says economy at the top. I'll have to look into that one. And then you can see the duration of the plane. So it's almost 3 hours, the flight number, the type of plane, and the percentage on time is right here as well. Was there a question?
Yes, Monica. If someone would like to combine a personal element into a business trip, do the settings and the policies allow for that to be done within Concur? Can they just book it all as one trip? And that might be.
Technically, no. I would say offline would have to do that so they can give you a difference in pricing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going to stay the weekend versus coming home on a Friday, it might be less or more. You can price it in Concur, but you can't break down the payment wise, but you can buy like a one-way, you know, there and buy your return personal reservations should not be booked in Concur.
Thank you. So just to recap, if you need a personal trip, that would be best discussed with the team, our travel team, and they can give you the price differences.
Okay, so then you see all the flight times. Once you find the flight that you want, you can go ahead and select it. So I'm going to select the fare. And then it's going to come back and give me the return options. I think it said buckle your seatbelt. So I'm going to take this one here. So it does put your outbound flight up here at the top. So it tells you the airline, the time and the date. And what I selected was main cabin. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to select this one here. So what it's going to do is now put it together and give me a round trip price. So I'm going into JFK, I'm coming out of JFK, my dates, my times, how long the flight is. And then over here, it does say it's main cabin and then seat selection. So it takes a minute to open up. Okay, so the legend or ledger is right here. So anything with the blue line underneath the solid green, I'm sorry, oh my God, solid blue color, those are block seats. So if you had a status with the airline, those would be available to you. I don't have status. So if I scroll down, all the free seats are the solid ones, the solid light blue. And then for your next flight, you can click on return at the top here, or you can say next flight and it automatically will load the next flight for seats. If I don't select some, Concur will go ahead and assign me a seat since I have a seat preference in my profile. I'm just going to save seats, to save. It just told me I didn't select a seat for my return, so I did not select a seat, but there is a seat for my outbound. If I scroll down, this is the name of the traveler, my phone number, email address. My date of birth is encrypted, my gender, and also my known traveler number is encrypted. If I didn't add it to my profile, I can go ahead and add that in and click this box, Save to my profile. It also gives you the bag allowance as well. And then the estimated cost, the base fare, the taxes, this is the total amount, and then my credit card. If you have multiple cards in your profile and you want to have a choice to use one over the other, there would be a drop down and have your multiple cards as long as you select Air to use that card. You can also update your payment or update your card. You do have to check that you read and accepted the rules and the restrictions. They are here, and also the hazard materials restrictions. You can change it if you make a mistake, you want to go back, you can say change the selection, or you can click on book and continue. As soon as you click on book and continue, it's actually building your reservation. It's putting those flights in a reservation. So it's going to take a minute. It's moving your profile and starting your reservation. And even if you stop at this time, the reservation's in the system and you need to go ahead and finish it. If you just print out your itinerary and walk away, you'll have an unfinished trip. If you see this lead rate unknown, this is an issue with Concur. It has been reported and they are looking into it. There is a map over here. Here's my reference point and then all the hotels. And also you can search by brand if there's a certain brand. Oops, trying to scroll down. A brand hotel here, you can go ahead and select it and it will update your list. You can also do amenities. You can do it by main hotel chain and star rating, and you can put a hotel name in here. As long as you don't have any of these filters on, and then it will update and search for the hotel. And there's also all filters here as well, which you have the same information that you have at the top. If you need to make a change to your hotel, you only need it for one night instead of two, you can edit your search and then update that and do your search again. It gives you the address, the distance from that reference point that I'm searching at, the number of star hotel, the CO2 emissions, any of the amenities, and then click on view rooms. Concur does load in any accessible rooms. So you might see a hearing impaired or a wheelchair accessible. So you do need to look at the room description that you're booking. We also load in any of our Navan or Rita Mackay rates, so you're able to book those as well. Here is a mobile accessible room. So it has a roll-in shower, so you do want to make sure you read the room description. If it does require a deposit, you will not be able to book this because sometimes you don't get that deposit back and you have to be aware of the cancellation. So any of those bookings would have to go to the travel team. If you want to see the cancellation policy, it does have a link there. It will open up, or it does say it at the top. And then the average room is the daily rate, and then the taxes will be included here. So the total is without the tax, and then they give you an estimate what the total is. And if there's a rate change, if you click on that, it just gives you an average here, but it will give you the breakdown. So if you're staying for 5-10 nights or something and there's different rates, you can go ahead and see all the different rates that they show. Was there any questions for it?
No, not right now at this moment. But everyone, just as a reminder, if you do have a question, if you could just kindly post it in the chat. Thank you.
So if you do find the hotel that you want to go ahead and book, I'm going to go ahead and click on it. So you just select it. It's going to be on my review and book page. Here's the information of the hotel. Again, the information from the profile. You can put a special request. Again, this is just a request. It will go to the hotel, but it's not guaranteed. The breakdown of the room, my credit card, And then you have to agree to the rules and restrictions, which is really the cancellation policy, and then book and continue. So again, what it's doing behind the scenes is actually booking that reservation, giving me a confirmation number. And if you walk away at this time, again, when you go to the Concur page at the home page, it will say you have an unfinished trip. It does give you, airline must be ticketed by the 12th at 8 p.m. It does give you the ticketing deadline. Trip name, you can go ahead and change this. So if you're going to a meeting, you can go ahead and put the meeting name in there. You can also put a description. This is all optional. Gives you your flight, your hotel, your return flight, and then any additional information. Oh, I'm sorry, purpose of trip. So we do have a list of the purpose of trips. I'm just going to click on other business travel. Again, the breakdown here, if you cancel trip, it will cancel everything and then you'll have to start all over. And then if you're ready, you can finalize the trip. If you didn't book that hotel, this is where you can go ahead and add the hotel at that time. So if you do have air and hotel, you do want to book it all in one reservation. So when you do have to cancel, if something's going on, everything's in one reservation. So I'm just going to click on finalize trip. And it's that quick. Trip is confirmed. Go back to my home page. Now I will be able to see that trip in my upcoming trip list. So if I go back to the page I like under travel, under upcoming trips, this is my trip here. It will say sending to agency for ticketing. Once it's ticketed, it will say either ticketing or confirmed. And then if you do need to cancel it, there is a cancel trip here. Let me just go back. I just wanted to refresh the status real quick. And again, you won't be able to see all this information because you don't have the access. So it does say confirmed. And then if I click on the trip, I can actually, I'll do that, open it up. And I will be able to see my itinerary. I already got my email. So once you do that, it's going to get sent off for ticketing. So I can see all the information here. And then at the very top, I can send myself an itinerary if I wanted to. I can change the trip. I don't think it'll let me change my flight. Oh, because it's not ticketed because I'm a test. It doesn't let you change the flight, but you can go ahead and adjust your hotel. And then you can also cancel the trip. So I'm going to say confirm and cancel. And then once it's canceled, that's where it's passed over to the travel team and they look at it and see if it's refundable or if they can void it. And then they'll go ahead and action it. And then that trip should go away if I go back to travel at the top. I have no trips here. And then at the very top, if you're an arranger, you can see all your travelers all in one spot and all their trips. And then the trip library, again, is any trips that you do, any of your reservations. So let me see, include all withdrawn trips. So this will show you all the trips that I've done and they're withdrawn. It was the date that that was booked. You can click into it and actually see what was in there as well. Are there any questions?
Yeah, a few questions, Monica. First, is the Concur booking number or confirmation number the same as the airline confirmation number? I think they're usually different, right?
Here, let me pull up my email. So let me do this. So it does give you on the email, this is the confirmation to the airline. Let me open that up bigger. Down here, this is our confirmation number. So we have this confirmation number, and then you have the airline confirmation number.
Thank you. So they are different, and that's just usually a product of where the reservation was made and versus the airline having its own reservation number in its own system. But they'll both be included, as Monica said, in that confirmation email. The next question is, will someone help us reserve blocks of rooms for events? And I'm actually working with Barbara and Camelia on that right now. To kind of have that available. But yes, we can help you with room blocks. Anything more, if you need 10 rooms or more, that will be handled by our events team. And simply just advise the team or reach out to me directly, and I'll put my email in the chat, and we can help you if it's 10 or more rooms. There's another question, Monica. If we can't book the flight and hotel together initially, can we combine the bookings in a single trip when both bookings are completed?
So you can add hotel to an air reservation, but you can't add air to a hotel reservation. So if you book your flights, you can always go in tomorrow and add a hotel to it.
Thank you, but not the other way around.
Right.
And I think with TripIt, and which is a separate app, that's a platform that's available outside of Concur, there's some logic to that, right? Where it'll combine, even if the hotel and flight stay separate, it'll combine them at least based on date and destination, right?
Yeah. It can sync to your calendar. So the TripIt, the free product is TripIt. You get all these options, and then you have TripIt Pro. You get everything in the TripIt, and then all these other options. The main thing I think is beneficial is the alerts for those flights. Any updates or cancellations, you will get those.
Thank you. One last question. Can we book European rail and specifically Swiss rail in Concur?
No, this is a US site. It would only be Amtrak under rail. So anything besides Amtrak would have to go to the travel team.
Thank you. But the travel team can advise you on that rail travel outside the US. They have access to that. Are there any other questions? Those are all the questions that are in the chat right now, Monica.
Okay.
That's it for now.
One more question came in.
We're just recapping the previous one. Yes, please book Swiss Rail through the travel team.
And if you do book Amtrak, you will receive an email from Amtrak with your boarding pass directly from Amtrak.
Thank you. Are there any other questions at this point? That's everything in the chat. Does Concur Travel filter directly into Concur Expense, Monica?
The trips do, yes.
Yes, they do.
You may have to still upload some invoices. I think the invoices for airline tickets you have to manually upload, but the trip will be in there for you to attach the receipt. And then I think if you do sign up for the e-receipts for hotels when you check out, if they don't automatically upload, you'll be able to find them in your trip library by searching for your trip. These are all withdrawn. But once you find the trip at the very bottom, if you click on it, it will have the receipt at the very bottom after your trip is done. It would show here.
Okay, thank you. There was a follow-up about Swiss Rail, and like if there's a short booking time frame, even like 15 minutes before the train, that's where there's a couple of ways to approach that. If it's outside of hours in the US, you can still call the number and it'll roll over to our 24-hour service, and they can still assist you if you did call them. If if that's not practical, and this might be a question for Barbara or Camelia, but you could just save your receipts and upload them into Concur Expense if you're in a situation like that where you had to book outside of the platform. That would be my suggestion. But like I said, the 24-hour team can still assist if you called them. But I understand, it might not be practical to make a phone call in all cases. That's it. That's all the questions for now, Monica.
Okay. Is there anybody that wants to go off of mute and ask a question? You want me to show you something? I'll pay you $5. I'm sorry. I just like questions. Well, I can show you Amtrak. I can't book Amtrak just because I don't want a real ticket, because this is a live tool, even though I'm booking reservations like a demo. So if I do New York Penn, well, that didn't like that. Well, that didn't work.
Do they have it under Moynihan Train Hall now?
I'm sorry?
I said, I wonder if it's under Moynihan Train Hall, maybe, or it shouldn't. It should still come up under Penn Station.
It should still come up.
Yeah. It's not, okay. That's like, okay.
No, if I can spell. Yeah, I'll have to look and see why. But normally you just put your stations in where you want to go to from, your dates, and then do your search and select it just like your flights, and then go through the checkout process.
There was one more question in the chat, and that was charges from restaurants and taxis. Do those upload automatically into Concur? And I realize that's probably more of a Concur Expense question.
The charge will, but you still have to upload your receipts, because your credit card will be linked into your expense. So the charges will show.
But yeah, you'd still have to go in and validate and put the receipt. Yeah. Does the Concur, Monica, if the Concur app allows the uploading of receipts through the app?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and Concur does have an app that you can download and actually book your travel on there as well.
So just to recap, there is a Concur app. You can book travel on it, and there is a function within that app to upload receipts.
Any other questions?
Currency conversion within Concur Expense, Monica. If there's an expense that's incurred outside the U.S.
That would be a question to the expense person.
Right.
I think there is a way they convert it.
Yeah. The expense team at Pantera could probably help you with that question about the currency conversion for international transactions. We support the travel site from our side, but we don't access expense because that's a company function and not, but that they could probably help you with that.
And I have the email address highlighted on my screen. So
yes, yes, for we can put that in the chat too. It's payables@panteracapital.com.
Yeah, all expense questions. If you haven't done expense training yet, that would be a question for them. Because I know you're going to be going through a training for expenses as well. This is only the travel part of the training. Anybody want to go off of mute and ask a question?
And just to recap, this will launch or go live on March the 19th. So a week from tomorrow.
And that's when you all be calling me.
Yeah, and if you think of any other questions after the presentation, I'll put my email in. I'll put my email in the chat in case anything comes up after the presentation. I know that there's a lot of change. It's positive change that'll help everything get organized better internally, and we're so happy to be a part of that, and we're really grateful for your business. But you may have questions afterwards, so feel free to reach out to us. You can contact me directly, and the team between now and the 19th or any time after that. And when it comes to day-to-day travel, of course, the travel team will be available for you on the 19th. We all look forward to working with you and supporting you.
And I do want to
go ahead, Monica. Sorry.
No, I just going to say, I do want to show you one more thing. If you have issues logging into Concur, whether it's expense or travel, or if you're doing something and you're getting some funky error or saying that something's not able to, process, there is a service status at the bottom. If Concur is down, if you click on it, we're under the US 2, and then you would see red check marks here. And if you click on it and open it up, it'll tell you there's a disruption or if it's degraded. I don't know, I can check on this one, something like this, like on March 7th, if you click on it, it will give you some type of update. You might have issues logging in, like, sorry, something went wrong. That means that it was reported and they're looking into it. Concur is a little slow as updating these, so you might have an issue and like an hour later, you'll see this in here. It's not often, as you can see by the calendar here. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, there will be a downtime until they get it fixed. And if that's the case, if you need to book something, please call the travel team and get the reservation processed. That's all I have for it.
Okay. If there are no more questions, then we thank you for your attention today, and we look forward to working with you. If you do have questions after the presentation, we're happy to help. And you just feel free to contact me directly. That would be the easiest way to do it. Ford Butler at reedmackay.com. I put that in the chat as well. Thank you all.
I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much to the Reader Mackay team. And if anybody has any questions, we're definitely going to take some of these away and then answer them separately. But if anybody has any questions, the payables team is here to help. So please feel free to reach out to us at any moment. And we will have another training session on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. In case anybody wasn't able to attend, they'll be able to go to the other one, and this one will also be recorded.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you. That concludes today's call. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.